Today on The Express, we're bringing art to life. On today's show,
we're getting a chance to get to know the artist and how he works.
Penhall's studio, on the move and on a mission.
They then get to play with pastels and do some experimenting.
Foster parenting for guide dog puppies.
The feeling you get knowing that you're doing something that's really giving back is double-fold.
Surrey students get to know nature.
That bug is a bright color.
There's no other stores in Canada that actually focuses on making the bridesmaid have fun.
Daring dresses from Frock's Modern Bridesmaid.
If the bridesmaid starts dancing, then you're like, oh, that's her dress.
See that and more local expression.
Love this dress.
Welcome to The Express. I'm Johanna Ward at the Penhall Studio exhibit at the Artists for Kids Gallery in North Vancouver. We have a pretty great show. Accomplished artists, creative kids, talented tailors, even dedicated dogs. We know that guide dogs act as the eyes for many blind Canadians. But did you know before they start their training, they have an extra special family life?
This is a typical morning for Rhiannon Maberly and her dog, Umber.
He just comes with me everywhere. One of the great things about him being a blind dog is that he can, we go down to Campbell Valley to the market together, and he comes to the grocery store, he comes to work, obviously. So that's great. So it's just very easy. Sit.
Rhiannon is Umber's foster mom. It's her job to prepare him to be a guide dog for the blind. And that means getting him socialized, including taking him to work.
He really just adapts to whatever we're doing. So if we're somewhere where it's quiet, he knows to calm down a bit more. And if it's somewhere where it's a bit more active, like the grocery store, he knows he can walk around and sniff things and he's more active.
Really, they're expected to expose the dog to as much as possible in their normal daily lives.
Hi Ken, good to see you. Good, how are you?
Today, Rhiannon is meeting with Ken Hamilton to talk about the progress of the 3-month-old puppy.
To make sure the pup is online, really, to make a guide dog. Down. Oh, better. Yeah, much better, but we stayed.
There are still spots available for foster parents to raise a puppy, but only for 12 to 18 months.
Obviously, it'll be hard to give him back, but he's going to do something so amazing for somebody else, it's impossible to feel bad about that. So, yes and no.
You're kept in touch with the pup's progress, and hopefully, ultimately, with the blind person who gets the dog. Umber, come. Good boy. Come. Yeah.
Ken says he tells people to treat the dog like a child who's leaving home.
They grew up, they went to college, they graduated, and they got a job. Your puppy's going to do exactly the same, just faster. He's going to do it within 2 years, really.
Rhiannon says raising Umber is even better than she expected.
It's been amazing. I think the feeling you get knowing that you're doing something that's really giving back is double-fold the love you get from a puppy that you had no idea how much you were going to love.
If you're raising a guide dog, you have to remember that old saying, if you love someone, you have to let them go. I'm Bianca Solterbeck in Vancouver for The Express.
If you sign up for the program and meet the criteria, you'll get a 7-month-old Lab Retriever or Golden Retriever for 12 to 18 months. You can go to guidedogs.ca puppy walking for more information. Now today on The Express, we're at the Artists for Kids Gallery in North Vancouver. This gallery is a little different because it's a teaching collection, and it's currently a lot different because it's also the working studio of North Shore artist Ross Penhall.
I'm just doing this slow process of growing as an artist because you grow and you grow and you grow.
I thought it was one of my top 5 best field trips ever because we actually got to see paintings of a man who's like right here, right now.
The one message I say today is the more you do something, the better at it you become, and the more your eyes are open, and you have to keep your eyes open.
If I get the chance to talk to an artist, I'm pretty like amazed.
I like the way this road goes into the darkness. I may do something with it, I may not.
What kind of social experiment does this feel like, working in the middle of a gallery with students coming through and watching you work?
This would be, I think, every artist's nightmare. You have to be open to mistakes. Mistakes happen, and you have to go with them.
By having an opportunity to talk one-on-one with the artist in the studio, here in our gallery in particular, they're getting a chance to get to know the artist and how he works. Makes it a little realer for the kids.
In every little painting, there's a spot that I love.
I'm an artist myself, and I really, really enjoy his paintings because it's almost like when you look at a painting, it sort of lures you in.
I've always said, as an artist, you have to step up and blow your own horn. That's what I do, is I sort of get it to a point that I don't look at it anymore. I believe in artists for kids, I really do. I just really wanted to do it. I would say the kind of artist I am, I'm evolving slowly.
Do you have a favorite painting?
I would have to say it was one over here, and it was like a schoolyard, I think it was, and it made you like kind of like jump in and like, oh, I want to play right there, right now.
He takes the simplicity of objects and he turns it into something that you would find way more appealing to the eye.
After they have a little tour here, one of our teachers, Judy Papajohn, comes and takes the kids out to a workshop where they then get to play with pastels and do some experimenting, creating their own compositions of Ross-ish kinds of work, so their own little mini Penhalls.
I think that when you stick to something, you can get really far into it. Yeah, that's one of my key things that I heard him say, and I really like that point.
They don't have to be the best. It's important that they, have their sketchbooks with them and they draw and just draw and draw and draw. And if you can draw, you can do anything.
Penhall Studio runs until May 11th here at the Artists for Kids Gallery in North Vancouver. Now up next on The Express, we're meeting more creative kids, this time from Surrey. These kids are getting wise with nature and the latest Robert Bateman Get to Know project.
At the Campbell Valley Regional Park in Langley, kids are getting reacquainted with nature.
A bug is a bright color that might be poisonous. We were doing a pond study. We dipped and caught animals and then released them back.
The program was started by Robert Bateman, and what it's all about, it's essentially getting youth outdoors into nature to learn about their wild neighbors. There was a group of grade 1-2s, pond peeking, getting their hands mucky, exploring and finding some of the creatures out there.
Today's events are part of Robert Bateman's Get to Know contest launch. There are presentations from OWL, the Orphan Wildlife Rehabilitation Society, and Metro Vancouver, who are streaming this barnyard presentation to classrooms around the world.
Bateman Get to Know has been in place now for over 10 years.
Up to 18 at one point signed in, so each sign-in could be a school, it could be an organization.
But it's the really hands-on learning that can really stick with kids.
I think if we can bring a hands-on environment with the students actually seeing and doing, it connects that, the fact and knowledge brings them together more clearly and develops a greater understanding.
It's really important because you want the kids to know how important nature is so they don't litter or anything.
And the contest, which encourages kids to get to know nature through their artwork, does exactly the same thing.
There's so many values for connecting youth with nature because it gets them outside, it's health and wellness, it's outdoor recreation, and also getting to know wild neighbors and the wildlife. People learn more about the animals and the plants, so they learn how to care for them as well, and hopefully become stewards of the environment.
Because if you think if there's too many mice around, they're going to...
I'm Erin Shaw in Langley for The Express.
See all the pictures of the different birds that we have.
The Robert Bateman Get to Know contest runs until May 23rd. Kids have until that time to submit their drawings of nature, and you can get all the information online. You're watching The Express, and we have more art and more outdoor action coming up.
I mean, these are just a collection of
After
photos and sketches that I collect.
Ross Penhall tours us through his makeshift studio. Road Trip takes a trip and a dip at Ainsworth Hot Springs. You're watching local TV on The Express.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by...
The Express is brought to you in part by Plum, fashion supplier to host Johanna Ward.